I'm so excited to be joined by Harvey Wolfman from the band Buried Animals.
Thanks, Simon, for having me.
Last time we were talking, Harvey Wolfman was on the Back to the City TV show ahead of the release of the most recent Buried Animals EP, Modern Zero Motel. That was at Mortimer's back in January. Abby was able to join you for the release show.
Yeah, she flew in from New York for the show, which was very cool. Yeah, very. We were very lucky to be able to have her join for just like just a special night. So that was cool.
I ran into her at Mortimer's a little bit before, on her previous trip, before the record release. And she said, every time I come into Minneapolis, Simon, I run into you.
Yeah, you're like Mr. Minneapolis.
It's a funny thing to be.
Yeah, for
an Englishman.
Yeah.
When we spoke before, I spoke with you and your fellow bandmate.
Yeah, Nigel.
Nigel's Nigel. I wasn't sure whether Nigel was Nigel or not.
Nigel. Yes, yeah. As far as I know.
The two of you were reflecting on the various different ways that Buried Animals might sound by the time we get to Thursday, March 20th. And Nigel was even talking about some techno influences. What do you think that the Buried Animals set is going to sound like?
Coming out of doing the EP and the EP release, we definitely had such a great experience with that. And we had incorporated much, larger of a live band. And so we're going to, try to relive that experience more because it felt so good and, went swimmingly. And so,
I gather I heard it went very swimmingly.
Yeah, it was great. And so while we have like a hot band, you leave the pitcher in when they're on a roll. You don't take them out. So that's how we're gonna approach. We're gonna approach the band. It's going well. It's cooking. So just let it cook. So it'll definitely be a little bit of the old stuff in terms of it's kind of got a little more synth wave, synth pop, kind of 80s stuff, and then transitioning kind of nicely into a little bit more kind of 70s kind of plastic soul kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'll be very smooth, very kind of smoky.
Smooth and smoky. I like it.
Yeah.
When we were talking on Back to the City, at that stage, still yet to be determined was exactly what the composition of the band was going to be. So could you just say a little bit about what it ended up being and what it will therefore be on Thursday, March 20th?
So besides Abby, it's going to be everything from our release show in terms of the musicians. It'll be myself, I'll be singing. Got Nigel on keys. It'll be Seth drumming. And they do some background vocals and stuff as well. And then
very cool.
Yeah, and so then my dad will be showing up.
Your dad, yeah.
Yeah. He's got a little sort of fan base of his own, kind of building out of this. He's got people who come out just to see him and are a little upset if he somehow doesn't make a show or something. So,
but we know he is making this one, yeah. And he's he's playing the sax.
Yeah. So he's the sax man.
Yeah.
And we got him, and then our good friend Dylan is bass, playing the bass. And then a new friend and newcomer to Buried Animals sort of world is Nick Baker, fantastic guitar player. So we brought him in just to do stuff for the EP initially, and it just went so well and so easy that we ended up getting both him and Dylan. That's Dylan Payne on the bass. We ended up getting both of them back. It was lucky we played a good show because you could play a bad show and then they might not have been interested in.
It's remotely plausible. Remotely plausible.
It's possible. Let's just say it's possible. You'd like to. Bad shows are always possible. You like to try to move away from that, or you bridge the gap between what makes a actual bad show or not. You don't ever want to like fully fall apart or anything. But I think we're getting to a more comfortable point of like the shows that we might not feel like, oh, we didn't play 100% our best are still pretty good. That's what we're trying to get to. But yeah, so that's the full band, and we do a little bit of on the old stuff. We kind of transition. We kind of like not quite to the level of like Talking Heads stop making sense. Like we don't come out and it's just me first, and then we build one member at a time. Not quite to that level, but we'll kind of start as our kind of like classic kind of 3-piece. Build it a little bit at a time. My dad will come in, play a little sax, and then we'll get the full band going.
Excellent. And speaking of full bands, the full Sunshine Emblem band will be avidly enjoying because all of the members of Sunshine Emblem have been so excited. We were playing Buried Animals between sets at Cutter Rug #1, and they were like, "What is this?"
Oh, nice.
And I was like, "It's a band. It's from Cutter Rug 2. We're playing with them in a couple of
Oh,
months."
sweet.
They won't stop talking about Buried Animals, which is lovely. So
Oh, nice.
so
That's awesome.
we're all very into it.
Sweet.